Okay, this is Blaze Powersports and Outdoors. This is the model QG-210 Coolster dirt bike that we sell. It's a 4-stroke, 4-speed, semi-automatic. That means there's no clutch. First off, let's just give you a walk around. Here's the front brake. They're drum brakes. Okay, rear brake here, drum brakes as well. Here's the kickstart here. You do not mix the oil and gas in this model. That's a 4-stroke. Just gas goes in there. We recommend, it holds about 3/4 of a gallon of gas, so you'll get about 50 or 60 miles to the tank. So we recommend Sta-Bil, Seafoam, or Startron fuel additive. If you use an ethanol-based gas, it can clog up the carburetor if it's not being used weekly. This is Sta-Bil. You can buy it at Walmart, auto parts stores, or even here. And it calls for 1 ounce per 2.5 gallons, so you have to do it proportional for 3/4 of a gallon. Whatever kind of fuel stabilizer you use, make sure you don't use too much. It can make the engine run hotter. Okay. So do not mix the oil and gas in this model, and the gas goes right in here. Okay. Next thing to be mindful of, here's the on and off switch, the kill switch. It has to be in the run position here to start or keep running. If you flip this button down like so, it kills the engine. It has to be in the run position. Next thing you're going to do when you want to start it, that's number one. Number two is pick up the choke. Here's the choke. Down is off, up is on. Okay, here's the carburetor. You want to make sure it's in neutral. Neutral is all the way at the top. And it's first, second, third, fourth going down. Pick the kickstand up. Take the kickstart, kick it out like so, give it a little gas, and kick it to get started, like so. While you're giving it a little gas here. After it gets running, put this back and put the choke down here. Make sure they use the brake before they shift down. Hold the front brake in and shift down. Then they can give it gas and start taking off and kick down for second, third, and fourth, and back all the way up to neutral. Okay. Next thing you want to be mindful of is the oil. Oil needs to be changed within an hour. It's a braking oil in here, and it's real thin. It's not made for long-term lubrication. We suggest after 1 hour of riding, change the oil. The drain plug is right here. This is it right here. It's a 17 millimeter. You'll need a 17 millimeter socket and a ratchet. Undo the drain plug, put the plug back in, and take the dipstick out, and you'll put the oil directly in here. Put a 1/2 quart and then top it off to get to the full point. Full point is right here on the dipstick. Not here, not way up here, but right here. In this little ring above the diamond. Okay. Do that after the first hour. The next 8 hours of riding time. Then after the next 16 hours of riding time, and then 25 to 30 hours thereafter. Okay. Another maintenance thing you have to be mindful of is the chain. When the chain gets loose, you'll need to tighten it. When they're new, they're very tight, as you can see. They hardly move at all. Now at this point, if you get over 1 inch, play a 1/2 inch down and a 1/2 inch up. It needs to be adjusted. You see, it's real tight. It will stretch. When it gets to that point, see this? This is the axle bolt coming through here. Here's the axle nut on this side. Loosen this nut thoroughly. Back off the lock nut here on this chain adjuster, and the one over here, right here. Back these off completely, use a deep well socket, and get to the adjusting nut here. Right here. Closest to the black part of the frame here. Do it symmetrically, 1/2 turns on each side until the chain tightens up to where it is in the 1 inch variant. Spray it down with some chain lube. After it gets as tight as it should be, tighten up this nut again, real tight. Put these lock nuts back on. Okay. Other things to check every time you change the oil are these. There's 4 of them in the sprocket. Check them. Check the nuts on the back side right here. Check your brakes here. Make sure it hasn't spun out. Check all your little nuts. Check your cotter pans. Check your bolts here. Check your handlebars. Make sure they're tight. Check all the little nuts here and there. Check these nuts. Now, about your 4th oil change, take a number 10 wrench and snug these 4 head bolts gently on the cold engine, and also these 2 on the exhaust nuts, real gently. Now, after about your 4th or 5th oil change, when you can't snug these up anymore, take these off on the exhaust, put some Loctite on. Do not put Loctite on these. Snug them gently. Now these here are just your valve covers. Don't worry about that. You shouldn't have a problem. Okay. If by some chance you ever want to winterize it, also check your engine mount here. See this one coming across down here, right here? That's where your engine mounts up to the frame. Check that from time to time. See? Check that one. Okay. Now, if you ever want to winterize your unit, if it's not going to be used for a couple of weeks, turn off the petcock. When it's in the run position, it's like this with the fuel. Okay. Turn it off. This turns off the gas going to the carburetor. It turns off going from the gas tank to the carburetor here. Okay. This is your drain holes here from the carburetor coming down. The drain screw for the carburetor is on the right hand side, and it's a flat head, and it sits right down here on this side of the carburetor. Here's the exhaust pipe. Take a screwdriver and come underneath here and turn it twice. You'll drain all the gas out the carburetor. Just allowing the bike to just run until it quits running will not solve the problem, because there's still gas sitting in the carburetor here, and half the jets are sitting in that gas. So you're basically just wasting your time. These are good little dirt bikes, but you have to maintain them just like anything else. They don't heal themselves, and things do get loose. It needs to be checked and monitored, especially with children. This is just to help you out, our customers, after they buy one, to know what to do. If you ever have to make some brake adjustments, you can adjust down here. You can bring this up more, and you can also adjust here, right here, some, by bringing this out and tighten up the cable. On this one down here on the rear brakes, I'll bring this up here. Okay. If you can't get it cranked for some reason, make sure you check this, check your choke, and check your kickstart. And make sure that your spark plug boot is on the spark plug. If you still can't get it started after that, you need to bring it in. Okay. Always check the air in the tires too. Make sure they're not under or overinflated. You might be asking what this tube here is for. This is a crankcase ventilation tube. They used to allow it to run just straight down without the filter. Now the EPA and the Consumer Product Safety Commission has made them have it to run from the engine into the air filter, getting oil and smut back into your carburetor. Complain to your congressman. That's beyond me at this point. Here's your air filter. Do not get water in that. If you get water in that, it will get into your head and can cause an explosion. Have any questions? questions, shoot me an email or something. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.